am so delighted that you are back with me in the Lighthouse Path podcast, everyone. I'm Stacy Hall, your host, and I love what I get to do because I get to interview really fabulous people. And the fabulous person in the studio with us today is somebody I've known for more years than either one of us look like we could be alive. But I have known her to be consistent in her ability to work with women who are doing everything themselves in their business, getting exhausted, feeling the weight of it all. She actually helps them build the simple systems and delegate strategically as required so their business actually supports their life and not the other way around. And anyone who's a woman for sure in business has been at that point where I need help. Well, Dortha Hise is the person to call. Her business is called Summit to Your Success, and we're going to have a fascinating conversation because she's actually a mountain woman as well. I'm surprised she didn't put that in her bio, but I happen to know that she equates building a business to climbing a mountain. So let's get going here. Dortha, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Stacy. I'm thrilled to chat today.
And from your lofty perspectives, I know that you have specific ways you shine the light on your clients, and I'd love to know some of those ways. Would you share them with us here?
Yeah. It starts from that initial intake and just having a really in-depth, actual human-to-human conversation. It's not just about, oh, well, here's my procedure and here's the checklist and these are my questions. It's really wanting to get to know the person behind the business, what they do, what their interests are, where do we have some parallels so that I can draw some things from their experiences that maybe I have for myself. Nature and being outdoors is a common one that a lot of my clients also share. So that's an easy one, or maybe it's gardening, something like that. So these are little things that I start to tuck away. And then I'm able to touch back on. So maybe it's getting to know about their family or their partner or their pets. And it's those little tiny things that seem tiny at the start that actually are the touch points that become something that helps me to step into more than just like even just a business partner, but like somebody who knows things about their life. It's not just about their business. It's more than a 2D version. There's depth to it. And from there, one of the things that I also like to do is learn when someone's birthday is or anniversary, if they're willing to share that, because I do send little cards and gifts that help me just be able to celebrate that person, because I'm very much a celebratory person and I like to uplift other humans in the world. And that is another way that I'm able to touch in with somebody if they're willing to share. Some people are not, and that's totally fine as well. I honor and respect wherever they are. So those are a couple of ways. Then I would really say when I show up in our strategy sessions with clients, it's very conversational. It's not that checklist. It's very organic. It's very like, let's talk about where you are in the process, what's working, what's not, what do we need to refine? All of those kinds of things really make them the star of the show. And that's the whole point of what lights me up when I get to support and shine the light on their business, is being able to say, hey, you know what, this is where you shine. Like, these are the things you are to be doing, and you can delegate the rest of the other things that don't light you up.
Yes, exactly. And I love that you have mastered that, being able to hone in and helping, because oftentimes, I know I didn't finish that sentence because this is even more interesting what I was about to say about you. You have a unique ability to be able to help a woman who is so in the overwhelm of it all and has lost the sense of what parts would they enjoy doing and what parts could be delegated. Mm-hmm. And then helping them get over that hump of, well, if I have to teach somebody to do it, it's just easier to do it myself, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So can you talk more about how you help somebody like listen, let go so somebody can actually help them?
Yeah. So, great question. And I think what I start with, generally speaking, is just do a brain dump. Let's talk through it, whether we do it in person or you do it solo, but list out everything you do during your day, including, taking breaks and having lunch and picking up the kids from school, or, picking up your partner, or whatever, all the things. And then as you start to go through that list, you can see things like meet with client. That's something that only the business owner can do. That's not something that, I, coming in as a strategic partner, can help with. So once they've identified all the things only they can do, I have them circle those things. Then I say everything else that's on that list, you can delegate. And at first, it's a little daunting because they're like, "Oh god," then the overwhelm comes in of like, "Where do I start?" So, after we've identified what can be delegated, we start with baby steps, because what I have learned over the years is that if they try to delegate all the things, then it feels unwieldy and there's overwhelm and loss of control and a lot of different feelings that come up. So the best way I have found to manage that is to start small. So maybe it's we start getting regular newsletters into circulation into your audience. Then maybe, after a month of doing that, we start bringing in maybe a little bit of social media. Maybe we bring in a little bit of client onboarding. And then over time, they start to, and sometimes, by the way, it happens a little sooner than a month, because they start to see that freedom in their time coming up and they're getting back to the things that they got into their business in the first place for. And they start getting excited. So then they're like, oh my gosh, then I thought about this. And then I thought about that. And it really starts to open up. And that's like one of my biggest joy moments for clients, is that they're like, oh, holy crap, like all these things. And so it's that excitement and that reconnecting and rekindling with why they do what they do in their business that really helps, like, just it lights my fire and like makes me so excited for them, because it's like, yeah, that's why you do this.
Yeah, I feel it from you. I'm feeling all the feels, and it's exciting. And yes, that's the feeling we all want to have in our business. So,
Yes.
and you had mentioned you send cards, you do little things, and truly, you don't just send cards. It's not like, we won't name the name of the company. It's not like you do these impersonalized. I mean, I love the idea of time saving sending cards, but I have to be honest, when I had an account for a little bit, but then I realized, like, really, you couldn't go to the store, get a card, and actually sign it yourself, and like, it made me feel like I was a duty rather than somebody they really cared about, right? And I know you can
Yeah,
make I'm going off on a tangent because I know it can be argued the other way, but it's just how it made
sure.
me feel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when I get a card from you, it's not even the going to the store. Like, you do cards. And I want everybody to hear what she does, because even if you don't work with Dorothy, you may want to get her cards because they're cool. You want to say anything about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the company that I use, there's a couple of different options. So, one is that you can go in and just create a stock card, and then there's the option that you have your own handwriting uploaded. So, you actually write out the alphabet. And then when you type a letter to somebody, you've taken the time to write like you would just write in a card, and it's in your own handwriting. So that's option one. And then you can just send a stock card, and not just, because the cards are actually quite sweet. And some of them, it just depends on the mood that you're looking for. There are lots of different options, just like when you go to the store and go to the card aisle. Um, the other thing is that they offer the option to add in little gifts. And little gifts all the way to big gifts. You can do there, they have food stuff, they have like all kinds of different things. So depending on what I'm celebrating with that person depends on what I'm sending to them. So I tap into the moment, and Stacy talks about this a lot of times. I know we've shared conversations about this, just like tapping in and saying, okay, like, what does this person need? What, when I'm scrolling through this list of gifts and scrolling, what speaks to me for this person? And based on lots of conversations I've had with that client, I'm able to say, oh my gosh, this is so that person. Oh, this would be perfect. And the way that they're packaged up is beautiful. And then the person that receives them on the other end, they're always delighted and they always feel special. One other little thing that I've done in the past for people is, if I know a friend that I worked with at a previous client, he had gotten engaged, and they posted this adorable photo on Instagram, and I went and, stole the photo, and I put it onto a card because that's an option that you have in there, and sent it to them for a congratulations and celebration with them. And he was just like beyond words how excited that was. He got to actually see, them on a card, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So it's that those are the ways that I do some of my gifting and some of my celebrations.
All right. So, yes, like we can do the basics, or we can really put some time and energy into it. And if you're like me, that you're saying, well, I want to show my love, but in terms of revenue producing activities, that goes further down to put in that kind of time and attention. That would be the reason that you
Yeah.
ask Dortha to take
Yeah.
care of that for you, right?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that's something you could delegate to
Yeah. We
Dortha.
have 2 clients that we do that for. So yeah.
I think
And
I just came up with a new name for your company, Delegate to Dortha.
there you go. I like it.
Dortha, what were you saying? I apologize. I
Oh,
spoke over
no,
you.
that's okay. I was just saying that we do that for 2 clients currently, and they write the messages that they want to appear in the cards. They trust us because we know their voice. So when we go in, we actually choose the card, and then we take that message and pop it in with their handwriting. So it's still very personalized.
Okay, well, there's that. I'm going to put, you're being very modest. I have received cards that Dortha actually created herself.
Oh yeah, those cards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm saying which is where I came from. It's like, if you really want something very personable, would you talk about your card decks, please?
Yeah, I have them sitting right. This is one of my decks. And each one of them has a photo from nature, as Stacy mentioned, and as I can't stop talking about, I'm always out doing something in nature. So I captured these photos, and on a backpacking trip, actually, I got the inspiration to create these. I had always wanted to create a card deck. I thought it was just a super fun idea. And if you know or have been in my world at all, or you go check out my Facebook profile, you will see that I post a lot about working out. So I paired just like one word. So this one says progress. And then on the back, it says progress and not strength. Progress and strength, not perfection. I was trying to combine all that and it didn't come out right. And then I included today's action. Stop and remind yourself how far you've come. And the reason I did that is because I wanted these to be fun, actionable cards with something easy to do at the end of it. So it has a mantra at the top or an affirmation, and then the little message for today's action, which is designed to get somebody moving and not just sitting next to their computer. So I have 3 different decks, and they all kind of just, depend on where you are and what your mood is, that you could pull a different card from each deck. You can do little readings, all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, thanks for helping point out my modesty.
Well, I'm saying that's why I gave up the other, because I would rather get a deck of your cards, which I've
Yes.
done.
Mhm.
And when somebody is having some event, whatever it is, or experience, send in, get a nice envelope, stick a card in there with a little note that says, sending you, inspiration, sending you motivation, sending you a note from nature. That's more personable.
Yeah.
Personal and personable is
Yes.
to me. Either way works. It's still showing folks that you care beyond just thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I will say this, a thank you is often neglected. And
Yes.
if many times when folks are doing business online and the order is going to a company that the person represents and not actually going directly into the person's bank account, I know for a fact that a large majority forget to send a thank you of any sort.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know if they think the company is sending it, which they do not. They
Yep.
send the product. But
Yes.
Dortha, do you want to talk more about that and I'll get off my soapbox?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And actually, I was just literally to your point, I was just having this conversation with a neighbor about another neighbor nearby that was in need of some help. And a neighbor stepped in and actually watched one of their animals for a month while they were recuperating. And my neighbor told me that this person didn't even get a thank you and didn't get like reimbursed for the food they had to purchase for the animal. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And I stopped. We were on a walk and I kind of stopped because I was just shocked that someone could do something that personal, like taking your animal into their home and not actually be willing to even say thank you. So she went on to tell me that she said, yeah, well, if people are willing to help me, I'm just going to take the help. And I was like, huh, what? So it just really blew me back a little bit because I was like, well, is this where people are with, gratitude and appreciation? And so it kind of makes my mission of like, okay, people, if you're in a service-based industry and you're leading with heart, thank you is like not even the least you can do. It's like it's like it ought to be a no-brainer, and it's not. So, maybe it's the ABCs of doing a business. Yes, your company may be sending things out for you, and that's terrific. Maybe you need to send them a thanks. In the meantime, though, your customers do need to hear from you because that's what's going to create that rapport and that ongoing connection and touch point and repurchasing in the future, right? Reordering, all of those kinds of things are going to fall back to you. And that customer isn't only going to want to hear from you when you're in need of an order. So that gratitude piece, reminding them, hey, this could be a nice complimentary thing to go with the whatever you already purchased if you have more than one item in your repertoire of products. So yeah, I mean, I think thank you is you're right, very underrated and very underutilized. And, like maybe we could make a whole campaign of like, we're bringing thank you back.
I love that. Game. I mean, count me in. We will
Yes.
do that. All right. Well, as we come to the close, and so much packed into such a short amount of time.
Yes.
Your website is scrolling across the screen. What happens when somebody goes to your website? What are they going to get?
Well, this is actually going to my services page. So it offers different ways that I can be of support to you in your business. And if there's something there that's of interest to you, there are ways to connect with me. And I'm on all the socials, so you can find me that way as well. I'm always down for a conversation. I'm always open to having a coffee and getting to know you and your business because I am first and foremost very relationship oriented. So that is one thing that I know sets me apart in the way that my business is built is that it hurts me to be transactional. So I really do strive to be relational and relationship oriented. So if I am not of service to you, I may know somebody in my network. So that's, I think, why I led to my services page. So yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Well, you can see why I consider myself very blessed that Dortha counts me amongst her friends, because she is definitely one of mine. I like surrounding myself with brilliant, high vibing people. And I would say just get to know her because if you are a nature lover as well, she and her husband, they spend most of their time in nature.
We do.
And so she learned to delegate so that they could get out of the office and out into the world. And
Yes.
they really have summited mountains, ones
Big
you've heard
ones.
of.
Hmm.
But most of the time, they're just out enjoying nature and living life and seeing inspiration from nature. So your conversations with Dortha will always be fun and cool. That's a reason to call her just for that. Dortha, any last final thoughts about appreciating our clients and customers?
Yeah, I think just putting yourself out there, being kind, leading with love, and there isn't something that's too small of a gesture. So if you're thinking of doing something like sending a card or something like that, do it. I think the reaction on the other end of the recipient getting it is going to be well worth it. And yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Well, lots of wonderful tips from Dortha on how to shine on to your clients so that they know how much you care about them and are invested in them. And so just a reminder from me, Stacy Hall, keep shining on. Bye everyone.